In this video, I'm taking on the challenge of bringing awareness to the heartbreaking impact of gun violence on our kids. Join me as I dive into this critical conversation and see how we can make a difference together. As I sit here today, I'm reminded of the devastating reality that's facing our communities, our families, and most of all, our kids. Gun violence has become an epidemic, and it's our responsibility as a society to acknowledge it, to pray about it, and to take action against it. It's a topic that's often pushed under the rug, but today, I want to bring it to the forefront of our minds and our hearts. The statistics are alarming. Every day there are reports of school shootings, gang violence, and accidental shootings that are claiming the lives of our children. Innocent lives lost, families torn apart, and communities left to pick up the pieces. In 2020 alone, there were nearly 20,000 firearm-related deaths in the United States, and a significant portion of those were children. It's a trend that's not slowing down, and it's a crisis that demands our attention. Take the story of 7-year-old Jasmine Hernandez, who was shot and killed in a drive-by shooting while playing in her front yard in Chicago, or the story of 15-year-old Jalen McKenzie, who was shot and killed at a party in Illinois. These are just a few examples of the countless lives lost to gun violence. The emotional toll on these families is unbearable, and it's a pain that no parent should ever have to endure. We often talk about the devastating impact of gun violence on the families directly affected, but what about the broader implications on our communities? The ripple effects of gun violence are felt far and wide, from the mental health issues that arise from living in fear, to the societal responses that often manifest as anger, frustration, and hopelessness. We're seeing it play out in our schools, our neighborhoods, and our places of worship. The question is, what can we do to stop it? I want to share with you a story that has stuck with me. A few years ago, I met a mother who had lost her son to gun violence. She was left to pick up the pieces of her shattered life, to find a way to keep going despite the overwhelming grief. But what struck me most about our conversation was her resilience, her determination to make sure that her son's death wasn't in vain. She started a foundation to provide support to other families who had lost loved ones to gun violence. She began advocating for stricter gun laws in her state, and she started a community program to provide mentorship to at-risk youth. Her story is a testament to the power of prayer, but also to the power of action. She could have easily given up, allowed the darkness to consume her, but instead, she chose to channel her pain into purpose. And that's what I want to leave you with today. We can't just pray for our kids, we have to act. We have to demand change from our lawmakers, from our communities, and from ourselves. Let's summarize what we've discussed today. We've talked about the devastating reality of gun violence on our kids, the alarming rise in gun violence incidents, and the broader implications on our families and communities. We've shared a story of hope and resilience, and we've recognized the urgent need for collective prayer and action. If you're watching this video, I want to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you or someone you know been affected by gun violence? What do you think is the most pressing issue that needs to be addressed? Let's start a conversation that can lead to real change. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more content on this issue. We'll be exploring ways to support affected families and prevent future tragedies.